The mic was actually muted for the first minute while you were praying us in.
Wake up with love again.
You want to just reset and start over?
Reset.
All right, people, we starting it over.
Hey y'all, what's good? Welcome to Wake Up with Love. I am so glad you chose to start your morning with us today. This is a sacred space cultivated with spirit, heart, and purpose, designed to support you in becoming the greatest expression of the massive blessing you came into this world to be. So let's get into it.
All right, beautiful people, take two. It's just like you're on a Hollywood set, and you know what? You take it as many times as you need to until you nail it. And then they say, we got it, cut, or Betsy can use the words. What is the words when they get it?
Cut.
Is that what they say?
Yeah.
What do they say? Yes,
They
cut.
say cut.
Okay, cut. That means you got it.
Yeah.
Cut means you got it.
No, cut just means you're done and you're going to either do it again or move on.
No, when you got it. And they're like, I got that. We got it.
Yeah, we got it.
We got it. We got it. Next. Thank you, Betsy.
You were right. You had it. There's no special lingo for that.
I don't know. This is Hollywood is your thing. I want to make sure I was representing properly the words. But anyways, the point is, you don't get upset when you have a mistake. You expect it when you're doing something brand new. Like listening to me just a couple of moments ago, folks, I got totally lost in the moment, and I realized I didn't know how to course correct yet. And so there was going to be an awkward silence, which I'm learning is the opposite of what you want on the radio. But I believe that anything worth being done well is to be courageous enough to do it unwell and often in front of public as you practice it, so that one day I can get on the radio and know that I have proficiently learned the skill set to engage, keep attention, and to motivate and empower anybody willing to give me their attention. Thank you for being here today. And when two or more gathered, miracles are possible. So I'm praying in a miracle today that this goes out and somebody realizes that they matter deeply, that they came here for a reason. As Betsy realized that day, I said, we matter, it matters. Betsy says we are actually matter in 3D form. We have collapsed from the infinite into 3D form, into matter. We came into matter. How powerful is that? And we did it for a reason. Nobody leaves paradise to come to this human continuum with all that we're going to have to experience just to have a weekend. This is not a getaway, folks. We came here on mission. And it's so important that we really define and question what is that mission that makes all of this make sense. And so today we're going to touch on it with You Matter, something that drives me deeply. We pray in all the names of the divine is celebrated. So I want you to bring your names forward. However, wherever you go to fill the well, wherever you go to connect in to the all that is, the all good, God the divine, the great creator, Allah, Yahweh, however you represent, please bring that in so that we are all here together, creating a temple of goodness all around the world to hold this prayer, that we connect today, and that anything that would have us not connect or get in between our connecting be removed from this space for the short time that we're here together. So deep divine, that which watches, just hold this space sacred. Hold it magical. May we come deeper into our heart, the feelings that fund the mission of love and joy and presence. May we move closer into the coverage, into the edge of our coverage, into the discomfort parts of our lives. May we have the courage to lean into them and understand that self-discovery is such a powerful opportunity. For every time we know more and understand more about ourselves, the more likely it is that we are going to be efficient and successful on the mission, the reason we're breathing. Thank you so much. And as I said in all the words, you've been celebrated, are being celebrated, and will be being celebrated around the world. We hold those words in our heart and in this prayer. Amen.
Amen. If I could just interject too, because as you're talking about all the words in which you're celebrated, I feel like you usually say all the names in which you're celebrated, but as you're saying all the words in which you're celebrated, it's reminding me that we talk a lot about how words become things. And that classic word that you hear in magic tricks, abracadabra, it actually comes from the root words in Hebrew, avra kedavra. As it is spoken, so it becomes. And so words become things. Yeah, so, and that's the power of radio. That's the power of what we're doing here today, too. May these words go out and become in the world. May they collapse into matter, as you said. Avra kedavra, as it is spoken, so it becomes. So it is done.
Deep. She went deep on us, folks. She went deep. Beautiful. So it is. So let's get into it. You to remember a time when somebody in your world that changed the course of your life. Do you have one, Betsy?
You mean you want us to find a time where somebody was that person in our life?
Yeah, somebody was in that life. Somebody came in and actually saw you and said either said something or taught you something.
Oh, yeah, totally.
That like changed the course of your life. You're guaranteed that if that moment didn't happen, that a lot of subsequent things wouldn't have happened to you.
Yes. I have multiple people like that.
Beautiful, beautiful. So I'm guessing everyone has at least one on the line right now. Do you want to share yours? Or?
There was one of my kind of theater drama teachers really saw me and loved, like, she was an adult and I was a kid, but like, she like just loved getting in and creating with me, and she like literally let me co-create a show with her and put me in the lead and made me feel like I had enough creative capacity that what my input was valuable enough to, as a child, co-create an entire production with her. Yeah, she really empowered me.
So there it is. Thank you. Thank you for willing to share your story into the space. And the reason I wanted to share the story is just to collapse it once again into 3D. And now I want to take that teacher. What was her name?
Amy.
Amy. We want to celebrate Amy right now for knowing that she mattered. Because she knew, and then she recognized from her matter that Betsy mattered. And the way they interacted in matter, then what I'm hearing is give you an understanding of yourself and your capability at a young age. So these are those moments we all have them. So what I've realized lately is I got to understand that life is like a relay race, right? You see that there's somebody waiting on the line and there's someone else hauling holy ass with something in hand to give that person, and that person on the line cannot start running until they get that thing. And so if the first person decided to sleep in that morning, they decided they didn't feel like running that morning, they decided that their fears were larger than their courage that morning, that the misunderstanding was larger than the truth, that hate was seeming stronger than love that morning. For whatever reason, they didn't bring themselves to the line and start their race. And not just run, but run like it mattered. Run like somebody was waiting for them. Then that second person would have no race at all, or it wouldn't be the same race. And that's when I say that you matter. That's what I mean. The love in you, the purpose of you, it matters so unbelievably deeply. And there are people out there, there are things out there waiting on the line for you to show up with something in hand to give, because each one of us have had this life of school of hard knocks. We've learned so many lessons through life. We have so much to teach and so much to learn, and it all matters. So today I'm just praying in to a deep remembering deep within you, that you may take a deep breath and say to yourself, I matter deeply. I matter deeply. I am here for a reason. I am breathing for a reason. And the Courageous Hearts is here to support that reason for breathing. Because I know that once you remember that you matter, we must come back into our hearts, even after they were supposedly broken, which I just feel like they're broken open, learning that we have a larger and larger capacity to love every time we're hurt. We have the ability to hold more, trust more, lean in more to love. And hopefully, in return, I was seeing a movie where this little boy walked up to a window and told the little girl that he loved her. And it was so pure. It was so beautiful. And it was understanding that the more courageous we are, the more we get to live in that world, not the guarded world, not the one that decided that it won't love anymore because breaking up is painful, not the one that decided that we won't try anymore because failing is painful, but the one that recognizes that all of that is leading us to a greater, more expansive, more understanding version of ourselves where we can look at others and say, I understand you because you've gone through something similar. Your life experience has been preparing you to be with people, to be with yourself, because it matters, because you matter. What do you got, Betsy? I want to pause there for a moment.
What was amazing about the scene in that movie that you're talking about is that earlier in the movie, this kid's dad had told him, sometimes all you need is 20 seconds of insane courage. That was his thing.
Yes.
And I think sometimes we think we got to be walking around courageous all the time, but we don't. Sometimes it just takes 20 seconds of insane courage to do the thing that breaks through, that gets us to where we're trying to go. We don't have to be out there feeling courageous all the time. You know, sometimes it's those 20 seconds that make a lifetime of difference. And we don't even always know the impact we have. Like, I don't know if Amy knows that she made that much of a difference for me as a kid. And I think it can be sometimes easy also to convince ourselves we don't matter if we don't see the impact all the time that we're having. But if you just know that you've probably made a difference in a bunch of people's lives that you won't ever know about. And that's why there's that personal development exercise where you're supposed to, like, write your own eulogy or something. Like, people, like, it always makes me sad or wonder, like, when I go to a funeral and I hear all the beautiful things that people have to say about somebody. I'm like, I wonder if that person knew that all these people felt that way, that they touched all these people's lives in this way when they were alive. Like, I wonder if they knew that, you know? So you matter, and maybe all you need is 20 seconds of insane courage.
Yeah, it just breaks, it just interrupts. I love Lisa Nichols. Remember Lisa Nichols used to say, even with your teeth, your knees knocking and your teeth clattering, do it anyways.
Yeah.
Even with your mind screaming, don't do it, do it anyways. And it's like once you make that decision and you open your mouth or you start walking in that direction to do that thing, to say that thing, then it takes on an inertia of its own that carries you through after those 20 seconds. So, yeah, I love that. I've actually taken it on.
Yeah. And maybe it's not even, I've even noticed, it's not even always 20 seconds, because a lot of times those first 15 seconds are just building up the courage to do the last 5 seconds of doing the thing, you know? It's 5 seconds of courage sometimes.
So that's the magic. Mom Dukes is up. My mother is on the line. Both moms are on the line here today with us. And here's one. My mom.
That's one of those kids' moments. Hi, Mom.
Hi, Mom. We're here. No. Yeah, the movie's called We Bought a Zoo.
With Matt Damon.
With Matt Damon. And it's really beautiful. It's about a story of loss, a story of healing, and a story of just following your why not.
And having a grand adventure.
I was listening to Les Brown today, and it really motivated me to be here. And the message he gave was, you know, the 4-minute mile was impossible, was deemed impossible for a long time. People actually thought that the human heart would explode if you were to try to do the 4-minute mile. Talk about what it takes in a mental to, like, be willing to, like, have heart explode to reach a goal. And then a man did it. Finally, a man broke the 4-minute mile, showing that it was possible. And Les Brown was saying from that point forward, over 20,000 people broke the 4-minute mile, including high school students, simply because they knew it was possible. And so today I want to speak really deeply to myself and to anyone that's in this position that's doing something that still seems impossible to the world. That you see something that is possible that the world does not see yet. So my personal thing, folks, my announcement right now is to prove that you can be completely communally minded, lost in love of everything that is, put profit in its place behind purpose, and live an amazingly fulfilled life surrounded by amazing people and do amazing things, knowing that together you will go further than you could ever go alone. And that in community, we can watch each other's backs, support each other, hold us when we're down, celebrate us when we're up. May the breath in my lungs last long enough for me to realize that this is a possible reality and that anybody that desires it can have it.
Amen.
Well, I just told on myself, folks. That's what I'm up to. That's the impossible dream that I'm living into every day, reminding myself it is possible.
Mm-hmm.
We'd love to hear what yours is. If you want to share it with us.
Yeah, if you feel like calling in and sharing what's on your courageous heart today, the number is 914-205-5427. Again, that's 914-205-5427. And you can come on here and say anything that's inspiring you about this, or any questions you may have, anything that you have to share in your have your own 20 seconds of insane courage.
Or a story. Your story where you already where you did the 20 seconds.
And this world is an interesting place right now. We came to the world at an interesting time, and we hope that the Courageous Heart on Sundays here in this virtual audio space can be a place that you come back to anchor into, to remember your courageous heart, to remember who you are, to get that support from community, to be here with us and building those impossible dreams and tapping back into those 20 seconds of insane courage every single week. So
beautiful. Yeah, and it's a process. That's what I see as the differentiator between this and most spiritual communities, is that this one is built upon action. This one is built upon practicing and then coming back and continually week by week building up, having a touch point. Wake Up with Love will be 7 days a week. We will be coming out and platforming different things, and we have a bunch of beautiful shows coming out with beautiful topics. But the Courageous Heart is literally that. The heart, when the heart is connected to the divinity within you, and then the heart instructs your mind, and then your mind instructs your actions, the whole line becomes infallible, and you become a force for goodness upon this world in a time when people are hungry for reflections of goodness, reflections of light, reflections of love, reflections of laughter and joy, reflections of peace. So, and to do it, once we decide to do the impossible, to do the hard thing, then we go on the courage, and we work the courage muscle. And the point of the Courageous Heart is that it's not about the leader. Betsy and I are not the leaders. We share with you in circle that we each have something to teach and something to learn. And our desire is to hold a resonance field to assist you. If you're courageous enough to go for your dreams, we want to be here to support that as a community. And because we've all been reared in the same misunderstandings, we all are sharing similar dilemmas. So when someone comes in, and we're going to call it the love seat, I've been working with people for almost 30 years now, get to the heart of what is ailing them. And whether there's a Shaquille O'Neal blocking that door or a Muggsy Bogues, which are two basketball players. If you don't know, Shaquille O'Neal is huge, and Muggsy Bogues is like one of the shortest people. He's like 5'5", and he was able to dunk, which is phenomenal in the NBA. And
he showed people what was possible.
And I just learned there was a woman drafted into the NBA in the 70s that we never hear about.
Huh.
So that was another impossible that I didn't even know.
Should come back and tell that story.
So, but the point of that is that when we're coming home to ourselves, when we're coming back to the innocent, the knowing, the connected child that we were born into this world as, the loving, the open, the trusting, we're going to have to face the misunderstandings that were given to us that took us out of that state as we return to that state of pure, courageous innocence and love. And so walking each other home is the game, practicing that courageous muscle, the courage to be loving again, to be open again, to trust again, to try again. Yeah, and just know that, when it comes to, like I said, the love seat, when you jump into it, and you share something, whether it's positive, it's difficult, maybe it's a challenge you're going through, maybe it's a triumph you want to share to encourage others, whatever it is, you will be amazed how similar the experiences of those that are walking this world with us right now. And when one person is willing to lay down the Instagram facade and just show the true spectrum of this life experience, because we're all experiencing it, folks, and we're all good at heart. God, the divine, does not make junk. We all matter so deeply, and I hope that we do. Someone's calling in here.
I think we got John on the line. Hang on, let's see if we can open it up.
Hello, can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Wow, technology's working.
Oh, isn't that a beautiful thing when it works?
That's right.
Thank you for calling in. What do you have to share?
Oh, well, it's so fun to hear you guys. And so I just wanted to relay a story from many years ago. So I grew up playing baseball. It was my love. And I played through Little League and high school and had the opportunity to play in college. 2 years of college, I was at a point where my grade point average, I really wanted to go to medical school, but my grade point average was falling because when you commit to playing college baseball, at least in Division I, you are practicing or playing 11 months out of the year. And that meant when I got done with classes in the morning, I was out practicing and playing. And I got back to my apartment at 7 or 7:30 at night, and I was exhausted. So my grade point average was suffering.
Yeah.
And after 2 years of playing, I just decided, I wasn't sure I was going to be able to get into medical school or what ended up being dental school. And so I asked my coach if he would meet with me for breakfast. And interestingly, I was so unsure about this that I was late meeting him because I was walking back and forth on the sidewalk across the street from the restaurant, still trying to decide what to do.
Wow.
And I walked in and sat down with him, and we talked for a little while, and he said, well, what's on your mind? And I said, you know what, I don't want to do this, but I really feel like I need to quit. What's the chance that I'm going to be playing varsity ball in 2 years? He says, well, you've got a good chance. I said, but I really want to go to medical school. And he looked at me and he said, you know what? You're not quitting. You're just refocusing your life. And you need to do this right now. And it was a comment, and I've told him this, over the last few years when we see each other, that it made a huge difference in my life because this was something I had done that I loved. I just loved playing, and it was so important to me. And he made the transition for me so much easier by just supporting me with his comments. And so it's just, sometimes you don't, and he didn't know that until I mentioned it to him decades later. And so you just never know. And from that, I've been, I have been practicing now for 37 years, and I've been privileged to have patients tell me how much our work together has meant to them. So this shift in my life, this shift in focus in my life, really, it made a huge difference for me in how he handled the situation and his words and support. And from that, I've been able to do work in the world to try and help others. So anyway, I just wanted to share that as sort of a moment for me that I always remember. And it seemed like a simple moment, but it really was much bigger than that. So
that's amazing. He gave you permission to follow what your heart was telling you to do. And I feel like so often that's what we need, to feel like we have permission. And that's such a gift. That's amazing. Thank you for sharing that story.
Absolutely. I love you guys.
You know what it reminds me of? Because we were just watching The Field of Dreams the other day, and at the part where they get to Moonlight Graham in Minnesota, you know, where he played one inning, but then he went on to become a doctor, and he changed the lives of these people in actually Chisholm, Minnesota. So,
that's
you know,
right.
and he said if he had only gotten to be a doctor for 5 minutes, that would have been the real tragedy. So, yeah. Thank you for coming on, for your 20 seconds of courage, and who knows who else needed to hear that story today.
Oh.
Yeah.
Beautiful. A blessing
right,
to you, John. We'll talk soon.
Blessings to you.
Bye
Nice
for
work,
now.
you guys. You guys
Thank
are awesome together.
Thank you. Happy to have you with us.
All right. Nice to be here. Bye.
Yes. Oh, that's beautiful. And I've been feeling, thank you for saying it, John, because I've been feeling you this morning. I want to share a deep gratitude for Betsy for being here. As I said in the beginning, when two come together, miracles are possible, and I'm experiencing it now. When we got married, we saw each other's dreams. When we met each other, we saw each other's dreams, we saw each other's light, and we saw each other's pain as well. And we had a deep connection on all three of them. And we had made a commitment to walk into this world and to do it in a very unique way and really create a world for our children. There was more towards what is possible. And so it means the world to have you here today. You've been there several times when I needed you here today, and just having you jump in is confirmation to my heart and to my prayer that I always be surrounded, and that we may find, all of us may always find ourselves surrounded by beautiful, loving people, remembering and knowing that they matter, and helping us to become and remember everything that we are.
Well, thank you. I love being here with you, and you have reminded me that I matter. And honestly, in the last couple weeks in particular, but I think, this last year and a half, has been very intense and really difficult, and there's a lot of things that have come to light in the world that feel really big, they feel huge, where I think that question about what's possible is really up for so many people. And I'll admit, I've had days, just this week, I think I had a moment where I crawled into bed and I just wept for 30 minutes looking at all the various tragedies that were coalescing at one moment and just feeling really small, and you have been a very important and grounding force for me in reminding me consistently that I do matter, and sometimes holding me accountable when I don't necessarily want to be accountable but need to be accountable. But, it's like, how do we, and I have a dear friend, Jillian, Mama J, she's out in the Bay Area, shout out to her, who talks about taking bite-sized, deliberate action every single day. And she doesn't know how much that has impacted me, just telling me that and modeling that and reminding me of that all the time. But that has mattered to me recently, when everything in the world feels so big. And I just feel like one tiny person, and what could I possibly do, and just bite-sized, deliberate action every day, remembering that we matter. And if all the people who matter keep showing up and come together, like you talked about, what's possible in community, it is possible, and we have to believe it's possible. So thank you for reminding me that I matter in the moments that I don't remember. Makes a difference.
My pleasure. And Betsy Batista has a book coming out.
Oh, God.
Because it matters.
Yeah.
And that's been a beautiful one. So we also want to know what's in you. Is there a book in you? Is there a song in you? Is there a practice in you? Is there a speech in you? Is there an art project in you? Is there something in you that you know deep down inside that you're meant to bring into this world, and that maybe continues to get pushed into the background with all of the things pulling for our attention, in this busy world right now? We want to be anchors to those things. We want to be the community to those things, with you, supporting you, holding you accountable to, like, hey, where are you at? What you up to? It's not the funnest thing in the moments when you don't want that accountability, as Betsy just said, but when the project is done, folks. Every Sunday, when you and us, we want to be held accountable. I want to be held accountable. That's why I'm saying I'm here 7 days a week. People can be like, where are you at? I'm putting an anchor in my day to walk my dream into the world, and knowing that everything is like a ripple in a pond. We may see the first ripples, but if the pond is large enough, it'll be a long time before it reaches the other shore. And so we never, like we said, you never know the actual impact. I've heard a lot of stories from people that were in very trying times in their lives, and they'll share stories with me about a simpler person smiling at them, or wishing them a beautiful day, or just a stranger on the bus, just asking them, is everything okay? That they actually feel seen. Just the small action of feeling seen sometimes can be a rock in their pond of goodness. I don't know, rock and goodness, but you get what I'm saying.
You mean like the pebble in the
pebble in the pond, but this is like a rock, like being
a big one.
A big one. It could be a big disturbance to the misunderstanding that they're in. To have that be seen, to be known, to be given permission, like John's story, to be understood, to be understood, to know that they're not alone. All of these things are greatly meaningful, as well as those big moments that we have in life. We get on stage and get that award, or be recognized for a triumph. Those are those big moments that are special too, but those ones that we don't get to see just often have just a larger impact. So, beautiful people, that is the Courageous Heart for today. I'm just so thankful for your presence, for your attention. Thank you for paying attention. Please let us know. Keep it we're going to put it on YouTube. We'll post these on YouTube, and we'd love your feedback. We're like, what did you receive? What did you get? What could be improved upon? Like, this is a communal effort.
What topics do you want us to cover?
So it is prayer out. Prayer out, what's that?
Oh, Divine, thank you for the sacred time together, for bringing us together on purpose and in union and in community, reaching people that we may never know we've even reached. May these words in this time be fruitful. May they ripple out and cause ripples of goodness and empowerment. And may bold, courageous, aligned, purpose-filled, beautiful actions occur in places we may never know today as a result of this time together. May everyone who is here in mind, body, heart, spirit, near and far, across time and space, be blessed. May we all be filled with great health, and may we move onward in purpose.
So, yeah, beautiful folks. Peace out. Love you much.
Bye.
All right, beautiful people. Thank you for listening. If you were moved by what you heard today, you know what to do. Like it, share it, spread the love around. Until next time,